while my siblings could give so many accounts about the dealings with my father, unfortunately, I couldn't give much because I was the last born and I was a child by the time I lost him in 1972. But there are two vivid descriptions I could give. I remember, peradventure I was around between 2 and 3 years. I spoke to him. I will want to follow him to the farm. I think I was between 2 and 3, and I think my mother heard about it. I mean, a farmer. I remember my father said, "You will have it." My father was old. At that time, he was more than 90 years. "You will have it." My mom heard him and revolted. "Don't take my son to the farm. And if you must do that, you must protect him." Insects, mosquitoes, all that. And it was a great trip. That morning, I cannot remember vividly who carried me, but they put me in a basket. One of my brothers carried me on his head, took me to the farm. They cleared the grasses, put me delicately, and that morning, because a visitor had visited them in the farm, the first thing they did was they started roasting maize. And I don't know what came on me. I was still in the basket, my carrier, and they were all busy with their normal work. And I screamed the only word. I don't know how I heard, how I knew that word. I screamed, "Snake!" My father, I told you how aged he was, and my siblings all ran at once to check if there were any snake really. There was no snake. Besides, they put me in the basket. They checked everywhere and discovered it was lizard. I saw. You know the end of the story. They had to leave the farm on time that day because of the visitor, which happened to be me. That was the clear picture I had about him when I was between 2 and 3. The last one was when he was on his sick bed. That was 1972. And he requested that myself and my immediate senior should come to visit him. That day, he spoke with us. I was just barely 7. I think I was around 6 years, a few months. And he blessed us. We came back to the village. A few days later, we heard that Baba had gone to rest. My name is Christian Matthew. I am going to say something about two kinds of parents. Two kinds of parent. You heard me very well. We are all parents. Our uncles, our aunties, our friends are parents. What kind of parent are you? Parents are not just to provide for their children, not just to educate them. There's more to parenting. This idea of sit down, read your books. Have you read your book? Have you studied? That is not the end. That is not all what parent is all about. I know there's a need for us to have intelligent quotient. I know that. I know there's a need for us to get social quotient, emotional quotient, adversity quotient, all sorts of quotient we can think about. But I know that parenting, first of all, is bonding. When you have secure attachment with your father, secure attachment with your mother. No wonder around 72, after my dad had died, when some people, because of the inheritance, wanted to inherit my mother by wanting to marry her off so that they would not be able to share the property and all that. And there was meetings. She went to attend a few meetings from a family of origin, and they told her, leave that place. My mom is more than 90 years old now, but I was talking about some 48 years ago. Leave that place. My mama said, I will stay because of my children. And she stayed because of us. That singular action made me to think twice when I had the opportunity to go to Australia. 2005. I was given the opportunity to go to Australia. The question is, my mama did not abandon me, did not leave me, just because there was pressure. I said, no. I am their father. Whatever I did not have, I'm going to give them. The oldest of the kids was 8, and the youngest was about 6 months. A few months later, I got an opportunity to come to China to come and teach English. And I've always liked to teach. And I spoke to myself, Christian, sit down. What an opportunity. You come back with money. If they told me that just come over here, we're going to pay your flight, we're going to give you a 2-bedroom flat, we're going to take good care of you. And the question is, what about my kids? Oh, a thought. By the time I come back, I've just spent 1 year there, I have a lot of money, and I would spoil them. No! What about bonding? What about secure attachment? Must I put them in danger? What my mama did not do, she did not abandon me. Why should I do that? But someone said, oh, Christian, you sure you're all right? The children are so young, that is the time you can travel. By the time you come back, you meet them, you spoil them. Besides, they might not even know that you sacrificed anything for them by the time they are grown, because you wouldn't have had money. I chose that. Even if they don't understand, according to what they told me, those guys, that the children will not be able to know. I don't want them to know. Bonding. It pricks me and my heart to see parents abandon their children for job, for power, for money. And that brings me to the question I ask, what kind of a parent are you? What will be your legacy? Money will end. Your children are there. I like I like our preachers. I like what they preach during wedding ceremony. Some are good orators, and they will tell us that the essence of marriage, first, to be together. Second, for procreation. I've been counseling for a few years, and I started as a pastoral counselor in 1986. And I've read my Bible a few times. I do not think that was the primary assignment for marriage. Procreation? I don't think so. It was clearly written. Genesis chapter 2 verse 18. A suitable helper, bonding. A helper that is suitable, companionship. But we have frustrated the essence of marriage, because even after marriage, we are still not bonding. We don't have companionship. So it's like we are bachelors and spinsters, even in marriage. Because the very reason, the very essence of marriage is for companionship. There's several marriages without children, and that does not make them to be less than marriage. Companionship. And so when you now got children, and there is no bonding between you and the children, and all we have now, just like we have established, is getting food on the table. You can abandon your child, you can abandon your son, you can abandon your daughter. By the time you come back, you come and take good care of them. Who has said so? There will not be bonding. There will not be secure attachment. It bothers me when you leave your children and you give them to your house help. Who would they know? Who would they bond with? You are so busy that your children might not really know your import. You think money answers all things? Money does not answer all things. Those days, when men were husbands and women were wives, as against these days, when boys are husbands and girls are wives, a woman will sit with the children, starting from breastfeeding. And that is why you see this close attachment, this secure attachment, the affection, the bonding between the child and the mother. I'm not talking about the child that was given animal milk, cow milk. When a mother is breastfeeding his child, they gaze at each other. The child looks at the mother, the mother looks at the child. The affection. Nowadays, what do? We have housemates. And to worsen it, we are more careful with our belongings. There are no go areas. For the maids, there are no go areas. Don't touch that place. Don't enter. In fact, some people don't even bother to tell their housemates that they should not go certain places. They lock the place. You lock where you put your gold, if you wear gold. Your treasury, you lock it. And you give the housemaid the property that is worthless to you, your child. The husband can go around with your child, but not with your belongings, not with your gold. Who is deceiving who? I have heard in counseling that some children prefer their grannies, their grandfather, their grandmother to their parents because they were the grandparents that took care of them. And some of them even got boldness to say that their parents were not parents, but their grandparents were their parents because they stood by them. And that secure attachment was there until they lost the grandparents. What kinds of parent are you? What kind? So we are talking about two kinds of parents or two kinds of parenting. The one that is bonding is even worse these days, that so that your child will not distract your attention, you give your child the telephone to begin to play game, so they can do some other things. Now we don't have time for our children. And we are killing our children daily, exposing them to radiation. I have been an advocate of children to some careless parents when I see them. How do I mean? When you go to hospitals, you see parents, the moment they give birth to their children, the first thing they do is to ask for a cell phone and take the picture of this child. Put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, send it to people. Not minding the damages they are causing on this child. This child has not developed organs. That is why some children, the moment they are born, within a week, they start vomiting blood. They have not developed their organs, and you expose them to radiation. What is the problem? What kind of a parent are you? The parent, the social media parent, where the care is no longer there. Nobody bothers about and you just go around displaying them. Now I got a God. Now I've got a God. Now I'm not a father. I'm not a mother. Now sending pictures around and you are exposing these innocent children to radiation. What kind of a parent are you? It is un-African that a parent will abandon the children and begin to pursue other things and now provide all that and now abandon his responsibility to the maid. What do the maids know? What do they know? Some of them even have medical issues, and you expose them. Such dangers to your children. Well, if you could give your responsibility of taking care of the children to your housemaid, your children one day, by the time they need to take good care of you, by the time you are old, you know what they're going to do? They will take you to adult house, adult homes. What is good for goose is good for gander. You hire somebody to take good care of them when they were children, they are aware. By the time you need them, they will take you to the homes. They can come to visit you. All they need to do is to pay. They pay them there. And some grannies had complained, some parents have complained that their children no longer come to check them in such homes. Please let us think twice about this. What kind of a parent are you? The one that is good, compassionate, that respects children as a gift of God? Or the one that just want to play with the lives of the children? I just implore us, please, let us think twice before we waste these children. Children are the gift of God, and let us treat them as the gift of God, not as toy, not as a disturbance. Children are not disturbance. They are great gift from God, and they must be respected as that. If I could remember what happened to me between age 2 and 3, several children will remember what you do to them, how you treat them. It's still in their memory. They will remember, and they will not have compassion on you. Remember, we are dying daily. We are growing older every now and then. Please be careful. Be a good parent and take good care of your children. That is what I want to say today. What kind of parent are you?